Hi everybody, on Keeping It Real today, I'm really excited because I'm here with my daughter Tashreeqa, and this is not an easy thing for Tashreeqa, so let me just start there. Tashreeqa doesn't normally like all of this as much as she likes taking photos. She doesn't like videos. So I'm going to let her just introduce herself to you.
Hi everyone, I'm Tashreeqa. I'm a fashion designer and I'm going to take you through my life experiences from moving around different countries all the way to my career today.
So Tashreeqa, you've grown up, everywhere from Asia to the US to back home, and we've moved quite a bit. How would you describe the impact of growing up in so many different places?
To start out, I lived in Vietnam for about 2 years. I lived in Singapore for 3 years. I lived in the US for about 6 months to a year, and then I moved back to South Africa. And for me, first moving across, it was quite scary. I remember I didn't know if I quite fitted in. It was a big cultural shift for me. It was a big language shift for me. But I think what I didn't know at the time is how easy all of that would make change for me later on in my life. And meeting so many people, so many different people from different cultural and nationality backgrounds was such an eye-opener for me, and it became a norm, so much so that when I came back, it felt weird not to have so many different people around me. And it's definitely opened my eyes to the world, and it's a big part of who I am.
How would you describe, moving there? Your first move was Vietnam. I mean, you were quite young. You were like 7 years old. And then moving back here when you were about to start high school. Oh, I think you did start high school, right?
Yes.
What did you find more difficult? Was it more difficult for you moving overseas? Was it more difficult for you moving back?
I think it was a big shock for me moving back. I felt way more out of place than when I first touched down in Vietnam. I felt like I didn't quite know where I belonged, and the first thing that me and you always speak about is when I came home to, and I didn't know what race card to tick, what race box to tick, because we never had to do that overseas. It was always what nationality are you, so I was always South African. And coming back here, colored was obviously not a word that was used at all.
At all, yeah. It's actually banned in America.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think for me that already kind of put me in a box, and I felt a bit of an identity crisis at the time. And I think throughout high school, I felt like I wasn't truly myself, and I felt like I lost myself. Where overseas, I felt like I loved life. I had the most awesome friend group, and I came here and I didn't have any of that. People obviously built all these friendships within primary school that I didn't have, because now I was coming straight into high school, didn't know anyone, and it was a shock to my system, I think.
Yeah, and also you had to learn Afrikaans.
Yes, and I had to start out with baby books in grade 8. Baby Afrikaans books. And I remember my first Afrikaans spelling test that I just cheated, so I got 1 out of 20. But yeah, and the biggest shift for me was that there was a lot of groupies in high school and also in university, actually. I think that was a big thing in South Africa, is that there was everything was cliques. And going through university as well, everyone already had this clique, and it was very difficult to enter it. And people wanted to stick in their bubble all the time. They didn't like newcomers. And so even in my university years, I made friends. My friend group was people that was not from Cape Town. It was people that was from Zimbabwe or Botswana or Mauritius. It was never Zambia, everywhere else but Cape Town. And I felt like I always gravitated towards those kind of people. And I guess that also gave me a sense of traveling and being friends with people from all different backgrounds as well. And I think also when we were overseas, we were friends with a lot of expats, so everyone knew our situation. We were all in the same boat. And we were all coming to experience this new city or new country together. And I feel like we're obviously meeting people at their level, which is they've grown up here their whole lives.
And I think that, and like you say, it's difficult, especially at school, because you were at a school where a lot of the kids actually went through primary school together. And I think when you did become friends, you became friends with the new kids who came in from other schools or other parts of Johannesburg or Durban or whatever else. and then they moved there, and then you kind of just connected because they were new. So all the newbies kind of made their own little clique afterwards, because everybody else already had theirs. So I think that was really difficult. Were there moments when we lived overseas, were there moments where you felt different or out of place? And how did you handle it?
I think the most out of place I felt was probably in America. Singapore and Vietnam, I feel like I thrived. And it's weird because I had different experience in each city. And in Singapore, I feel like I was quite a socialite. I was very extroverted. I was very bubbly. I had a lot of different friends. And when I came to America, it was a big shock in my system. I think also partly because I just didn't want to leave Singapore. I didn't want to leave my friends, and I was mad that I had to leave and come to this new city. And everyone there, it was very close-minded. I didn't really enjoy my American school experience. It was very cliquey. I never fit in. Like, I think I was a big nerd in America. I aced all my tests. I think I was on the honors roll.
You were.
I got 100% average at one point in one of the terms, but I had no friends. I used to sit in the school girls' bathrooms and eat my lunch. When recess came, I used to dread it.
And America was a lot like South Africa, right? With races. It was the races were in cliques.
Very cliquey. It was very cliquey.
The races were all in their own cliques, and then you came in and you didn't know where you fit. And
it was also very like the jockeys are together, the cheerleaders are together, the maths class people are together, and when the recess bell rang, I hated it because I was like, oh, where do I go now?
Do you feel like living abroad gave you an advantage of life, or did it create challenges?
A bit of both. I think it played to my advantage because I obviously became a lot more open-minded from living overseas, and a lot more acceptable to people from different backgrounds, and a lot more open to people from different experiences of life. I could never shut someone down that had to come to me in today's age, in today's world, whether it was university or my career or anything. I could understand people, and I think that was because of my traveling. And for me, a con would probably be, or something that challenges me, would be long-lasting friendships, because I obviously had to just get up and leave every time. That I struggle to put in all that effort because I just would be scared at that young age that I just lose those people again. So it's really maintaining and building, I think, relationships is something that challenged me for quite a bit in my life.
It was, for me, myself, even though I lived most of my life in South Africa, I think coming back to South Africa has definitely been more difficult for me than when I moved overseas. I think coming back, it's the realization that the people that you're surrounded by, a lot of people that I know has never left South Africa. And so, you don't find a lot of people that can identify with you or the challenges that you're experiencing or how you see the world. And as old as I am, there's still cliques, and people won't let you into their circle easily, so I find that that's really challenging for me. I'm a lot like you in a way where I love change. For most people are scared of change. I'm the total opposite. I'm scared of staying the same my whole life. My worst fear is staying stagnant. I love change. So for me, when things are changing, that's when I feel my best.
And even circles or like cliques, like I really hate that word because I feel like we're more than that. We have friends at different levels in different different circumstances and different groups in life.
And I always feel like
boxed in.
I don't like feeling owned by people.
I
feel like nobody owns someone, and you shouldn't have friendships where you owned by a group and you can't explore. We should be able to have friends from all,
and have friends for different things.
You have
some friends where you're gonna go confide in and maybe cry with, but you have some friends who you gonna go to a Pilates class with. There's friends for different things.
Exactly, and I think that's really, really important. And so I also find that pretty challenging because I don't like to be bogged down with like one set of friends. I like knowing that I'm open to meeting new people and getting to know different people because that's what I'm accustomed to doing. So for you emotionally, how did it affect you coming back and leaving that global space?
I just felt like it was very difficult to fit in again.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I said this already before, but coming back and like my cousins or my childhood friends has made like these long lasting relationships, and they have so much substance in their relationship. And I'm coming in, I'm trying to create those relationships with family even or with friends again, and it just feels like I'm not fitting into where they are. And yeah, I think that was very challenging for me. Obviously, growing up overseas, me and my brothers became very close, and that's why we have such a strong relationship now, because we were kind of forced to just be with each other.
Yeah, and you were each other's best friends.
Yeah, even though we irritated each other to death, I think it really built a strong foundation for our relationship now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that was one of my main emotional challenges, was trying to fit back in.
Yeah, and I think that also, I mean, that covers, I think, socially. Yeah. But how do you think living globally has helped you creatively?
It was a big inspiration when it came to art in high school and my fashion design degree in Cape Town. All the cultures, and especially the Asian culture, and those experiences along with my Indian heritage, those all kind of played into all of my projects throughout. Yeah. And it was always an underlying message, no matter what I was briefed. Yeah. And it's crazy how that would not have been if I didn't travel. Yeah. I wouldn't have picked up on all of those kind of things. And it really, culture especially really inspires me, especially the Asian and the Indian culture. I think it's a strong influence, and it's always evident in everything. Yeah. And even in fashion itself, I'm most amazed by the Asian and Indian cultures. Yeah. And I think I always will be. And especially with fashion, I always draw inspiration from those countries and those cultures.
If you had to describe the biggest challenge that young women in South Africa face right now, what would it be?
A big thing would be social media. Okay. And I think it's very dependent on who you follow, but more often, obviously, influencers and celebrities and people of that status showcase a very flamboyant life and a life that obviously involves a lot more money financially. And I think we pressurize ourselves a lot to have that. Even though we know mentally the steps that it takes to get there, I think we're very hard on ourselves when it comes to seeing that and being like, oh, but why don't I look like that? Or why can't I afford that? And when realistically, that's just a snapshot of their life in that moment, and they worked towards that tremendously, and that's what we don't see. And especially myself, I put a lot of pressure on myself to just have that or just be that. And even when it comes to, I know in today's time, body positivity and skin positivity is so big, and I think people are becoming more relatable today than it was growing up, and people are a lot more authentic, especially with regards to like TikTok. Back when I was growing up, Instagram and Facebook was a big thing, or more Instagram, and it was all about your image. And I think now with TikTok, there's more of a sense of vulnerability, but also within that, I feel like growing up with that image and aesthetic based content, it was almost like if you weren't that, you weren't good enough, almost. And I remember when I was in high school and I had acne and my skin was really bad, and you want to cover it up. And I think today the younger generation, they have a lot going for them because they embrace it, and it's more, I would say it's more acceptable now, and people are just talking about it more than they were talking about it back when I was growing up.
Might not be promoting beauty as much. They still are, but not as much. However, what they're promoting now is a lifestyle. And
yeah, I think
which is becoming a lot more dangerous, because now I feel like girls and women especially are after this lifestyle, and they will do anything to have it.
When I was in high school, I know that the biggest thing for me was looks, like you said, and whether you're pretty enough or whatever. And now it's like girls, you have to like there's like this is the skincare routine, 10 steps, and you have to attend Pilates or drink matcha or all of these like expectations, like you said, it's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle, yeah.
And if you're not that girl, then who are you? Because that's the social media expectations, I guess. And then like, do you actually like what you're drinking? Like, do you like doing what you're doing, or are you just doing it because you're seeing it on social media?
Yes.
And I've fallen to those kind of traps also. Like, do I actually like it, or do I just like it because it's on social media and social media's trends are telling me that this is the thing? And you have to be very careful, because then you're not being authentically yourself.
Don't realize how we influence. I mean, we influence everywhere. You can go into a Woolies and you're paying for groceries, and then there's a line of, you know, either healthy foods, healthy snacks, or chocolates, or sweets,
like
or chips, or whatever.
Me, do you actually need this, or does it just look pretty?
Yes. Yes. And so you stand in that queue and you're like, it's calling your name. Take me, take me. If you're not consciously aware that you're being influenced, it's very easy to be influenced. And I always find it funny how some people will say to me, I don't get influenced by those things. But then, you know, they'll tell you, oh, I bought this, you know, I bought this. It was on TikTok, or I bought this. I saw it on Instagram, and it's like, okay, you are actually influenced by it. You know?
I mean, the best of us gets influenced by it. I think it happens to all of us.
Everybody. You can't say that it's everybody.
Yeah.
I don't think if there's a person that tells me they don't get influenced by things, I think you're not connected to anything there.
And that's what they pay more.
If you're not on if you're not on social media, you're not going to get. I mean, I laughed when I went into Pick n Pay hypermarket the other day, and I overheard a conversation between the sales lady and a lady that came to look for some item of clothing, you know, and the lady said, no, you know, it was on TikTok 2 days ago, and then we were sold out the next day. And this tells you
what a big influence.
What a big influence, you know, social media is, and the marketing, and how quick things go in retail. And
I think as young people, you have to be so careful, because it obviously costs money, all these things.
Yes.
And you can just fall into doing it, and it might not work for you at that moment, and you're just going to crave in because it's the biggest, latest thing that you have to have.
The next thing I want to ask you is, how do you balance, and this is the important question, how do you balance the cultural expectations placed on women with your own personal values and ambitions?
Culturally, women get married at a younger age, and career isn't a big focus for women, and there's all of these things. And for me, it kind of went against who I am, because for me it was always, I'm gonna study, I'm gonna get a degree, I'm gonna work. Like, a man's not gonna provide for me, I'm gonna provide for myself, and then I'll find someone on my level. And I think that's always been my main priority. And so I think that's been a challenge for me culturally.
And how did you balance that out? I mean, in your mind, what made it easier for you to deal with that?
I think the way that you guys raised me, and you always encouraged me and pushed me to study what I want, to do what I want. And you always told me, I'm going to get my own place one day, and the person that I want is going to move into my place. And so I think it happened exactly. So I think it definitely comes from the people that's around you and your support structure that kind of gears you in that way.
I think, you know, for us it was quite easy, because I think, one, we lived overseas, so we got to raise you the way we wanted to. There was no cultural expectations from us, because we didn't have that around us. You know, we didn't have, you know, the extended families or friends around that could alter how we chose to raise you. You know, we wanted to raise you in a way that gave you freedom, and we had the freedom to do that. I think it's very difficult for some people, because they in that space, and everybody around them is telling them, oh, you should do this with your child, or you should discipline your child like this, or you shouldn't let them do this, you shouldn't let them do that. And I think for me personally, you know, I grew up like that, and I knew, I mean, even when I was young and I wasn't even thinking of children, I already told myself, one day when I have a daughter, I am never going to let my daughter go through this, because I know how difficult that is. I mean, I think it's already difficult, like you said, when you were a teenager. It's already difficult for you to figure yourself out, let alone figure yourself out with a whole lot of other opinions bombarding you of this is who you need to be, this is what you can and can't do, and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's already difficult all on its own to navigate that area of your life, but then to still have people around you that's, telling you you're wrong, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. So I think actually I will not forget this, because you were doing your normal thing, which was playing with my hair now in my dressing room in Singapore, and we were and you started talking, and you said to me, "Mummy, I am not getting married until I have my own car, my own house, and I'm gonna be working, and whoever marry me must move into my place, because if I don't want him anymore, he must just leave, because it will be mine. He must go somewhere. We must go somewhere else." And I laughed, and I said, "Yeah, I'm sure you're gonna be like that." So it was very funny for me when you ended up getting married, and then Ziad moved into your apartment, and it was really funny. Obviously, now you guys have chosen your own apartment and you have it together. But you went to university, you studied what you wanted, you lived alone for a long time. I think Mahamida was worried that you were never going to get married.
Yeah.
I think. And and then you waited for the right person. You were in no hurry. As much as people kept saying to you, "When are you getting married? When are you getting married? Have you found someone yet?" You were just like, why do people ask women this question?
Yeah, I always hated that.
Yeah,
there was always that before, like, what are you doing with your life? Like, what are your plans?
Yeah.
Like, that's what you ask a man, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
what are you studying?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do for work? And then you ask the woman, oh, but when are you gonna get married? When are you gonna have kids? And it's just about flipping that narrative.
Yeah, and for you, it was very important that is not how you wanted to see your life, because you never saw yourself as in, I'm somebody's wife. Yeah, for you, it's more partnership than it is. I'm a wife, I'm a partner in somebody's life, and they're a partner in my life.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt underestimated or judged because of your gender? And how did you respond? Did anybody ever treat you differently because you are a girl or a woman? And
I don't think I've had any dramatic things that happened to me. Thank goodness. I think I've been surrounded by pretty positive people. But there was, I think, an incident in my university life where I never liked to cook. I never cooked. If I could have 2-minute noodles every day, I would have. And I don't know where I was, but the guy basically told me that I need to learn how to cook, or otherwise I'm never gonna find myself a husband. And I was just like, who are you? Like, go marry a chef or something. Like,
yeah.
But I didn't even really, it didn't bother me that much, because it's not something that I cared
it's
about.
Annoying because you think, like, in this day and age,
why are you a grown man having this opinion? Like,
yeah. No, I mean, it's funny because, I mean, my mother used to say that to me. You better learn to cook, because nobody's going to marry you. Well, I've got married twice, mommy. Yo, the mina suckers. But yeah, so for me, I think that people still ask that question today. It's a stupid question. But do you think that you've now, since you've been in South Africa for so long, so many years, do you think now you're sort of more South African than you are global in your way you dress, or do you still feel like you identify more globally?
With fashion, I feel like I identify more globally, just because I'm in the industry, and we're always looking at like international runways and influencers. So my whole Instagram and TikTok revolves around that. So I feel like I'm very much influenced by international more than local, and every time I travel, I'm just reminded how far back we are with regards to fashion, and that just makes me like long for
to be in that global space.
To be in that global space again.
I think that if you have to look at empowerment for women, I think through clothing, through fashion. I think for me personally, and I mean, I think I told you the story was, when I went for my very first job, and I didn't have a suit. I didn't have a suit, and I had to go for an interview. And I was panicking, and I didn't have like cash, and I went to go look for accounts, and it was always very funny to me, because the first place I went to was Edgar's, and they wouldn't give me an account because I didn't have a job, like a proper job. I was working, but I didn't have a proper job to them. And so they wouldn't give me an account. And I ended up at Truworths, and Truworths actually was the first place to give me, and the lady gave me a very small credit limit, like really small credit limit. But I was so grateful because I didn't have the money for it. And I remember I bought this like almost like this color. In fact, I think this was the color of the suit that I had, right? And
I wish you still had that suit.
actually, I think Ma Hamida was the last person that had that suit of mine, to be honest with you. But anyway, I had the suit, and it was too big for me. It was on sale, and it was the last suit there, and I bought it. And Uncle, because he was tailoring, took the suit and he had stitched the suit for me so it would fit, and I remember when I put it on, it was the first suit I had ever owned. And it was the first time I put on a suit. And I looked in the mirror, and I don't think I had ever felt that powerful at that stage in my life. I never felt so powerful like when I put that suit on. And I looked at myself, and I promise you, I think I carried myself differently. I literally, in my mind, I was a totally different human.
I feel like it's good to know, like everyone has something that they put on, and you just feel like you can face anything and you can face anyone.
Yes.
And and
what is it for you? What is it that you
for
wear?
me, I was gonna say now, I feel like for a long time it was like I never knew my style. Like, what is it that? And I put on some things that I'm like what is it? And some things I feel good in. And then I realized that I love being in my feminine energy.
Yeah.
Like I always have. If I have to put on a dress and anything that's pretty, anything that's ultra girly,
yes,
I'll just feel better about myself. And it's so funny because I've only realized that very recently.
Yeah.
That I feel the most authentic and the most empowered when I'm feeling girly.
And it's strange because when you grew up, you were
the opposite.
You were the opposite. Well, you wore a lot of dresses, but you liked the same dress over and over. You weren't really a fashionista when you were young. You liked making all of us look nice, and everybody else, your cousins, everybody, you dressed them up, but you didn't like. You had that same sandals. That actually now you guys have what you call it, Birkenstocks.
Yeah.
You had Birkenstocks, and you would only wear those Birkenstocks, and you'd only wear the Birkenstocks with that one dress. That's all I couldn't get you into others. When you grew up, you were like, Mommy, why did you let me dress like this? Like, I'm not taking anything on that because that's you. You decided to do that. But now, I mean, I see it in you. I see that when you're wearing a dress or whatever, that, you sort of light up when you are wearing a dress, and, and you do look very pretty. In any case, you can wear whatever, you still look pretty. But to me, it's just, I think that when you feel most like yourself, and I think when you're dressing the way you want to dress,
and for different people, it's
different. And it's different for different people, but when you dress like you want to dress, you are most confident. You exude confidence because you know that you look good and you feel good, and no matter who comes to you and tell you, but you should wear this, or you should try this, or you're like, I won't feel comfortable if I do that. That's just not who I am as a person.
For a day, maybe.
So I love
like sneakers. Maybe one day, like a month or 6 months.
Yeah.
I'll wear a pair of sneakers.
No,
it'll feel good, but I cannot do that for the rest of my life.
Now you see, I'm the total opposite. I could wear sneakers literally all the time. Yeah,
except my Converse.
Yeah,
my Converse I'll always wear.
So I can literally live in sneakers, and in every outfit I buy must be able to go with sneakers. Otherwise, I don't want it. So. For me, sneakers is a huge deal, but I do enjoy wearing a pair of heels. I do feel that it does make me feel taller and, stand up straighter, and I strut somewhere like I'm on a runway, and I love doing that when I'm with my husband and I'm going out on a date. Then I like looking sexy and I like looking hot and whatever because I'm with him, and I love that. I love the feeling of that. And even though I would also still prefer probably to go in my sneakers, whatever. But you know what I don't like? Is that when I'm sitting there in my track pants and my sneakers, and then this pretty girl must now walk past with her stilettos and her short dress, and she looks so hot. Even I will go for her. And then I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, yo, why did I now wear this outfit? Yeah, I'm sitting, Aster Pusterki, sitting and watching and I'm thinking to myself, This is terrible. And I know my husband's going to look. He's a man, he's going to look. But now I'm thinking to myself, I'm also then looking. I'm looking because she's pretty. I mean, she took care of herself. She made the effort to look nice. She made the effort, to do all of that. So I give her credit. You know what I mean? But you're sitting there and you're like, I was so lazy tonight. Now I'm reminded of why I mustn't be so damn lazy. But for me, it's, and then, I always laugh because I used to say this long ago. I don't do it anymore. But when I was young and I used to see girls walk like that and I'm now not dressed up, then I say, I'm so glad I'm not wearing those high heels. It will hurt my feet.
To make yourself feel better.
And then shame. And then, then your husband must agree with you. And he says, I don't know why women wear that high heels. I give him my credit. Okay, shame you, at least you're trying. But I know he's talking nonsense. But in any case, now I look at it and I think to myself, I take my hat off to women that do that for themselves, not for other people to do. Because I don't think, even if I'm doing it, I'm not doing it for other people to look at me. I'm doing it because it makes me feel good and it makes me feel confident. And I feel like I'm walking taller and I can achieve anything.
I always feel like I love being a woman. Like, I can't imagine being a man. I feel like it must be
no flip, it's too boring.
Like, it's way too boring. Like, the best part is having a shower, washing your hair, coming out, doing your hair, taking time to do your makeup. Like, that getting ready process is way better than even going out. Like, I'll do that every day. That's the most therapeutic time.
And that's what I feel. Like, I feel like when every day I'm sitting in my study, in my office, in my house, but I dress up every day. And every day I do my hair, I do my makeup, I do all of that. And then I come and I sit in my office and I work. And then every time Amir will say to me, why do you dress every time? You just come until here. And I keep saying to them, my brain doesn't work that way. My brain, if I know I'm going to work, I must be in work clothes. I can't, if I'm in slippers, my brain tells me I'm going to sleep. If I am in flip-flops, my brain says I'm on holiday. I can't. I've got very strict laws that goes on here in my brain. So if I'm at work, I must feel like I'm at work, and my clothing makes me feel like I'm at work. If I'm done with work, first thing I do, track pants, my slippers, now I know, TV time to binge watch something, lekker, relax, enjoy the night. Put my heater on, and then I know. Then I go to pajama mode. Okay, sleep time now. My brain tells me now it's time to sleep. It's normal for me to be like that. I can't do everything in the same clothes. My brain don't work that way. So I feel clothes play a big role in my life, letting me know what time of day it is.
The minute I walk through my front door, my clothes are off, my pajamas are on.
Yes, and I just feel like it just lets you know that, hang on now, it's chill time. Your day's over, you've had a hard day work, you now get to reward yourself with some chill time. So I think clothing plays such a big role in a lot of people's lives, and we don't really realize it until we actually look at how we live. And you realize how much influence it has in our lives. That and my hair. Because if my hair don't look nice, I feel terrible. I can do nothing, actually. If my hair don't look right, I'm a miserable human.
That's the worst. And I have no makeup on my hair. It's just
your hair must feel good. If your hair feels dirty, no. So for me, I think fashion plays a much bigger role for us. And I don't think in the fashion sense of runways, I think in our personal fashion sense, in who we are, in, like you say, creating your own brand, your own identity. I think it helps you to showcase to the world without saying a thing, this is who I am, and I think that's really, really important. When you look at social media, what does it do for you? How does it make you see yourself? Do you see yourself as the same, on par with other people? Do you see yourself more like, when I look at things and I think I'm so far behind? Do you look at things and go, oh, I'm actually far in front? How do you see it?
I think it depends on my mood and the day. Because if I'm feeling life sucks, and why am I not affording to travel the world and go everywhere? No, but it really does depend on where you at in life, because if you're not feeling great about yourself and you're on social media, I feel like it's really just hiring all these expectations for you that maybe that's not the phase you're on right now, and it's making you feel like, why am I not where this person is? Why don't I have that career? Why am I not like financially stable to do this, or to travel here, or to buy this many cups of coffee a day? It's small things, but it can really make you feel bad about yourself. But at the same time, I feel like some of like what I follow and my following, what I see, it's also a lot of things that are very relatable, and I'm seeing a lot more content that's very relatable, that's making me feel, okay, I'm not alone. Other people are also feeling this way. Or it's stupid things that TikTok will make like a video about, or you'll see a video about it, and it's like a small thing that you wouldn't think that someone else would be feeling this way, but they do. And it just makes you feel like on a global spectrum, we are kind of all in this together, and social media does a great way of showing that.
Like, I love like seeing South African women that are doing extremely well. It motivates me to want to do more. Like it says to me, oh, if they can, you can, you know? So I think that's what I love the most about social media, is that today I can see friends of mine that was maybe at school, I was at school with, haven't seen in a long time, and I see them doing something amazing. And I'm just so inspired by that. And I look at that and I go, oh, wow, that's amazing. I don't really see social media, for me, as not something that I think makes me feel bad. I think it's something that I use to motivate myself, because I know that we all get jealous or envious sometimes or something. But I think for me, it's like, when you do feel that way, I think it's to go and say, well, why am I feeling this way? I'm feeling this way because I know that I can do it. Why am I not? You know, I can have that. I can do this. And so and when you're feeling jealous or whatever, it's simply because you know you're not doing as much as what you could do in your life. And so I think for me, when I look around and I see women doing amazing things, I really feel inspired by that. And I'm like, I need to ask this person, how did they do this? Like, how did they do that? I also want to be a part of that, you know? And I think so it can give you that effect if you choose to let it.
Look, sometimes on TikTok things come up and you can't control it because it's not based on who you follow. But so you're gonna see everything. It's just how you react to it and your opinion about it.
But the thing is, whether you choose to keep watching or whether you choose to swipe it away.
Yeah, but most of the time you just keep watching because it's interesting.
Okay, thank you for that little bit of honesty. I'm not on TikTok, people, so I don't know what the hell she's talking about. I'm saying swiping because, I don't know, maybe I'm thinking of Dora the Explorer. Swiping. Yeah. If you look in the fashion world, social media can be inspiring and toxic. How do you navigate that?
I can look and aspire to certain creators or certain influencers, but I might not have the financial means to get what they have at this moment in time. So I feel like we also realistically need to look at, where are you right now? Is that needed? Do you need what they have? Or are you just going off of first instinct, and is it going to be like laying at the back of your closet in the next month? Like, look at it from where you standing as well.
Do you think women today feel more pressure to be perfect?
Like, I feel like when I was a teenager, even in university, I felt like more pressure to be perfect, and I feel less so now. And I don't know what really shifts in you or how it changes, but I just know that when I was from the ages of maybe 18 to 23, I just felt like, actually from probably like 16 to 23, I just felt like not pretty or not good enough. I remember when I was in high school and TikTok wasn't really a thing, or Instagram, but it was more like music videos were a big thing. And I remember when Selena Gomez released her Who Says video, and it was obviously Who Says You're Not Perfect, and it had a very good message. But I remember the music video, and she was taking off her makeup and stuff, and and she was very pretty, and I was just like, but I'm not pretty like that. So if I'm like I'm not you, so I'm not perfect. Like, it just felt like so I feel like it was that point in my life, and I was very insecure, and I was very like, I was not perfect. I was not the norm. like what pretty
Yes,
is
yeah.
or what pretty was to society. And now I don't feel that kind of pressure. There are times when I feel it, when I look at other people and I'm like, I wish I was prettier, like I wish I was this, or
Yeah.
I wish, I don't know, I had clearer skin or stupid stuff like
Oh
that.
Lord, what
I
do you
feel
want to
like
do? Shine bright like a diamond? I mean, with all due
I
respect.
feel like everyone
Okay,
has
I think
things.
I think that, and I know you told me on Saturday. You said to me, "Yeah, but you, my mother." You say, "I don't
Yes.
listen to what you say." But to me, I think most of our family have looked at you and said, "Your Tashreeqa is beautiful." Like everybody says it from the time you were young. Um, you know, everybody will keep saying to me, "Your Tashreeqa is really pretty. Tashreeqa is so pretty. Your Tashreeqa is built so nice." You know, so everybody kept saying it to you, and I think the one thing I've realized in my life is that no matter how many people say it to you, if you cannot see it in yourself, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. You know, if you look in the mirror and you are seeing your imperfections, no one can change that mindset until you learn to love yourself. And I think when you are a teenager, like you do go through all this different feelings about yourself, and you know you have your skin goes through different wax senses of acne and whatever else, and you have oily skin, and then it's oily hair, and then it's so you go through all of these things anyway. But I think that eventually, when you do mature, you might still see flaws,
Yeah.
but they don't matter to you as much because you start feeling like your beauty is for you. Yeah. And I think for me, honestly, I've never felt like when I was growing up, I never felt beautiful, but I never thought that you're supposed to. Yeah. To me, it's not a thing that you're supposed to feel beautiful. To me, I think the most important thing for me is not about beauty, it's about your character and your confidence. And I think that confidence makes you beautiful, even if you have one eyebrow. You know, if you're confident with that one eyebrow, you're going to walk like whatever, and people will be in awe of you because you just exude a light about yourself.
And I think also the more people you meet and like the older you get, you realize that it's really way more than surface level.
Yeah,
like
no,
it's way
absolutely.
more than that, and you resonate with people for their character and for their soul, and that starts to mean more to you than
Yeah,
looks
I mean,
eventually.
I honestly can't give two hoots of how pretty I have as friends or whatever. To me, it's just, do I enjoy being with you? Can I have fun with you? I mean, don't tell me we can't go swim because your hair is going to get wet. Don't put me off like that. You know, if I say, can we run in the ocean, we must just run in the ocean. Don't tell me, oh, no, my hair is going to shrink and whatever. I don't have time for that. I know this to do it now. Can we just do it? You know, so for me, it's like, I think that when we look at our lives, we've got to, as women, I think we got to embrace the imperfections. They're always going to be there. And I can tell you, as you get older, it don't go away, it get worse. You know? So, I mean, I was laughing. I was watching Jennifer Lopez on Instagram, and she was showing how she do her makeup. And she was showing all these tricks. I thought, this woman was going through a lot of trouble. My first thought was, I should try this. She do this thing where she put this darker foundation here so you don't see a double chin. Then she put light foundation over, so it gives a
lift.
Yes, and on the cheekbones, she put a dark foundation here, and then it lifts your cheekbones when you put the other foundation over because it gives a shadow effect or something.
Oh, contour. You're talking about contour.
I don't know what it's called. But anyway, so she do all these things. So now I'm sitting and I'm watching this thing. And at first, my first thing is, maybe I must go buy me this darker foundation. Then I sat and I thought, yeah, who are you kidding? You don't even like to put on the foundation that you have. You want to rub it on like moisturizer. You don't even want to take your makeup brush. You just want to rub it on and you want to leave. Where you're going to be, for all I know, I will make my cheekbones look so high that it look like it come up on my eyes. So I thought to myself, you know what? This actually makes me feel better watching that. Because now I realize if somebody like Jennifer Lopez, who I look at and I think, yo, this woman is frick pretty. If she must put so much effort in, yo, imagine now me. So I thought to myself, actually, maybe I'm not so bad. Bobby Brown is good enough for me. And so for me, it's just, I think that as women, we got to start embracing the flaws. We got to start looking at it and saying, I love it. I love everything about it. I love me. And I think you got to love your character. You got to love who you are. You got to love the fact, whether you're quiet, whether you're bubbly, whether you're whatever, you got to love it. You got to know what you bring to the world.
Yeah. Or just don't fixate on the bad, because I feel like there's always going to be things that maybe you want to improve about yourself, or things that just always gets to you. And I feel like just don't fixate on it.
I think we all notice that you look in a mirror, Musna. You can't help this stupid mirror. Don't hide it.
Because you're never going to be perfect.
But it's to look at it and to say,
it doesn't actually matter in the bigger scheme of things.
Yes, yeah. But besides that, I mean, I look in the mirror and then I choose to look at the things about myself that I love. I see the other stuff. It's there, Musna. I can't help it, but it's there. But I will see the stuff that I love. So that, like you say, that's what I'm focused on. I'm focused on the things about myself that I love, the things that can be changed. If you have a zit, you can put something over and cover it. Finish. Done deal, But it's like you the other day when we came out the movie, then you saw the pimple on your nose. Then you were like, the whole nose is red. Yeah. I'm looking at you. I only see the pimple. You say, it isn't. It's red here and it's red here. I think it's a rash. I said, Tashreeqa, I don't know what you're saying, but the mirror is not really telling the truth, because I'm looking then at you. I think the light is making it look more red. Then you said, your nose is also red. Maybe it was a popcorn. And for me, I was just crying, snot and trana in the movie. My nose got like red when I cried.
I found a problem. I put tea tree oil on it every single minute of every day, and then it went away.
Now, you see, I will remind myself that I must put that tea tree oil, but I won't actually do it.
I'll do it.
But I think for me, it's just, I think as you get older, and I think as you get older, you'll start caring less about it, because you start realizing there's more important things in this world than a zit or whether your hair is perfect or not. I think there's more important things for us to do in the world than that. But at the same time, I do think that you are just a person that loves dressing up, you love makeup, you love those kind of things. And that's what I love about you, is the fact that you really genuinely love it. It's not something you do because everybody's doing it. You really genuinely, I don't think I've ever seen someone so happy in a clothing store like you. I think the whole store of people disappear when you're in the store, because often you'll pick up a hammer and all I hear is, Mommy, look at this, Mommy. And I'm on the other side and I'm like, yeah.
Even though no one understands.
Yeah, it's like, you don't even
going on over this thing.
Yeah, and then you hug the thing and you're like, but I love it so much. Yeah, and so I've never seen somebody that love fashion as much. You love the clothing like it's a human. You really love it. And so for you, I don't think it's even about trends. It's just, it makes you happy. It's like your little children in your cupboard. That's how you feel about your clothes. But the reason you're such a lone ranger, I think most of the time, is because you are just you and your clothes. And that makes you just happy. I honestly think
like an old cat lady, which I wouldn't mind to be.
You are also a old cat lady, but I think you just genuinely love, and that is why you're in the fashion industry. I think it's just because you just really love it. You really love, and you're lucky. So you married a man that loves it as much as you love it. Yeah, you've got a husband that, I don't know who's worse. Next time when we interview them, we'll see who's worse. The worst fashionista between the two of them. Do you think that you are authentic?
I feel like I'm always still finding myself, but I feel like I'm more authentic than I was yesterday, if that makes any sense. Like I'm more authentic than I was before, and I feel a lot more comfortable in my own skin and comfortable with who I am, and like knowing, like I said just now, what kind of clothing makes me feel confident. Like I didn't know that last year, but I feel like I'm constantly just finding out more about myself, and it's just like that's making me feel more authentically myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel that being a married woman, there's like now an expectation of you to present yourself differently?
It's definitely an area where I'm still navigating, because I feel like I have a very strong belief that I'm my own person and my husband's his own person. And a marriage is just, we now live together and we have this relationship that we're working on together, but we still are individual person.
Yeah.
I still have a strong career, and that's very important to me.
Yeah.
And like, I still love coming home and doing my own thing and navigating life by myself also.
Yeah.
So still having my own identity as apart from marriage. And I feel like on social media, and it's very much like marriage is like you one person now, and you're doing things together, and it's not like that actually. Like, I'm still my own person. I still...
Do you find that difficult? Do you find it like, do you sometimes think to yourself, yo, is this right or wrong?
Yeah, I think I do ask myself that, but then it feels right. So I just do it.
The reality is, for me, I think that when it comes to marriage, I think when you're married to somebody, you have your own routine. You don't just change it now because you're married and you're like, okay, now, you said to me the other day, well, I don't know if we were supposed to go to sleep at the same time. Like, no. You have different body clocks. Like, you might want to sleep and he might not want to sleep. You might not want to sleep, you want to sleep. I don't think there's a way to be married. Honestly, I know people have all these little things of when you're married, this, and I think the sentence they must get rid of. It's two people becoming one. You not. You two people. Yeah. Now you have four hands. Two people to clean a house now. There's two people to washing and ironing and dishes and everything. There's two. There's not one. So to me, it's like they need to remove that sentence. You are not two people becoming one. You're still very much two people. You have maybe a couple of goals that is the same because you have a life together, and maybe you want to buy a house, maybe you want to buy a car, maybe you want to buy something, and that's a common goal that you're both working towards. But then you also have your personal goals, things that's important to you, and not to compare yourself to anybody else or to any friends or anybody else that's married. I think your marriage is your marriage, and you're going to do it your way. Like I said to you the other day, I fight with Dad as much as I love him, and I will continue fighting with him because he's my husband. That's what he's there for. And he fights with me, and that's what I'm there for. We each other's safe space. And I can say what I like to him, and I know tomorrow morning I can wake up, kiss him good morning, and pretend none of that ever happened. And he can do the same. And that'll be life, and we'll move on. No, I lie. He can't do the same. You have to pig a little bit. When you look at personal growth, are you both like into personal growth? Do you both care about, dealing with your feelings and talking things out and understanding life a little bit better? Do you find that that's something that, you're interested in? Do you find he's more interested in it than you are?
I think he's definitely a better communicator than me, which was also a challenge, I guess, coming into marriage, is that I deal with everything in my head. I have all my own personal conversations, my own dialogue that I don't often communicate to him. And he'll always be like, Tash, you need to communicate with me, you need to tell me like these things. And that's a place where he always pushes me, and I feel like I've gotten maybe like 2% better at that.
No, I honestly feel like you married me.
Yeah, I do.
Because he is a great communicator. He talks. He can talk to anybody anywhere on the planet. And he gets along easily with people.
He's good at solving problems,
and he's very good, I think, at articulating feelings.
Which I'm not. I'm not good at that.
You've never been good at that.
I can just be like, okay, we can just get over it. And he'll be like, no, we need to talk it out.
I actually say this to a lot of people. And I say, because they say to me, you and Tashreeqa must be so similar. And I'm like, Tashreeqa and I are totally different. I can love openly and hug openly and all of that. I said for the longest time, Tashreeqa used to hug one arm hug, and like our fists is always closed when she hugs.
Today, I don't know why, but I googled what's the compatible star signs with Taurus, with my star sign, and it said a Virgo and a Pisces, and then you and Ziad. How crazy! I didn't even know that he was a Virgo.
For you, I mean, I've said this to Masihu and that as well, and I've said to them, I said, Tashreeqa and I couldn't be more different and more the same at exactly the same time. Because you have that same kind of goal-oriented space in your head that I have, where I'm like, if I want something, I want it. I know I can do it. Like nobody can convince me I can't do something. If I think I can do it, I'm going to do it, and I will go after what I want. And I have a high work ethic. I believe in working for what you get in your life. And so for me, we're very alike in that. When it comes to communication, I think you're a lot more guarded. I'm a lot more open about my life. I think you're a lot more private about your life.
Yeah.
In that way, you're not like there.
Yeah.
You think before you say something. You
And it's
don't
weird
just say
because
something.
like people that I've gravitated towards, like all my best friends, have always been outspoken, bubbly, social people. Like from when I was small
Yes.
to now, I've
Yeah.
always become like the closest with the person that's the most outspoken, the
Yeah.
most socialite, and that's so weird because it's always been such a difference to
Because
who
you balance
I
each other out,
Yeah.
right? You balance each other out, and often, I think people like that brings out that side of you, which is nice. I think that every now and again, even with Ziad, I can see like every now and again he brings out that bubbly side of you, and then you have it for that little bit of time. So I think that it just balances the two of you out, and I think for him as well, you're the balance where he doesn't have to talk all the time. He doesn't have to be bubbly all the time. He can be quiet. And so I think for him, that's also the balance. Because I know with Dan, that's how I feel. Like, I feel like I never enjoyed silence before, but now I enjoy the silence with him. I enjoy that I can talk to him and he doesn't always have to answer me back. Like, I can just say to get something off my head.
Yeah.
And I never appreciated that before, but you start appreciating it afterwards, and
I
you
feel like
realize,
you're comfortable with someone when you can sit in like complete silence with
yes,
them.
and
Then
that's
you can't, like my radio doesn't work in my car right now, so the whole car ride is just silence. But you don't even think about it because
you
it's
don't.
just
You're comfortable. Yes. And that's how I felt. That's how I knew when I married Dad. I knew that I was going to be with him for a long time, because he is literally the only person in my entire life that I could sit in a car with and not talk and be totally with no music, with no nothing, just sitting in a car. And my brain can be far away in thought. And there wasn't are you okay? Or it's just acceptable. And I think that's when I knew, okay, I can be with this person because I feel safe in the silence. So that's important. What's the best advice that you've received about marriage? Anyway, from anyone?
Two. One is a very general one. I think communication is key.
Yeah.
And the second one is that form your own traditions within your marriage.
Yeah.
Not traditions like in a religious or cultural sense,
Yeah.
but as in like small things that you'll just do together, like have a movie night on a Friday night, or just small things that makes it feel like it's a
yours.
family, like it's yours.
Yeah.
And that's I think helped me throughout this first year. It's forming our own traditions.
If you had to give advice to yourself when you were 18 about life, what would you tell yourself?
I think that there's more to life than just your image and then just your outer appearance, that you need to take your time and go at your own pace, because I know I was very much of a things need to be done at this instant. I was I was not a patient person. I'm still not a patient person, but just to have a bit of patience, and that things will take time, but it'll be worth it. And take everything at your own pace.
Okay. And if you looked at career, you gave your 18-year-old self, because I know at 18 you were still questioning. I mean, when you were in matric, you were still questioning, are you going to do that? Is it the right thing? So if you could tell yourself.
I think fashion found me, and to let it find you, because it found me when I really didn't know what I wanted to do. And even though it was always an underlying passion that I just never saw, and it was always there. And I think I tell my younger self that it's there, it's right in front of you.
What would you like to see change for women in South Africa over the next 10 years?
I think it would be to have the freedom to be who they want to be, and the freedom to voice their own opinions and beliefs without being judged for it, and without their safety being at risk. Because even with expressing yourselves, it can sometimes come to a disadvantage with safety, especially in South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And people can often blame the way that you dress or the way that you look
Mm-hmm.
for the reason that something happens to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I would hope that we are able to express ourselves freely without the worry of those kind of things in the future.
What does keeping it real mean to you as a woman, as a wife, in your career? What does those words mean to you?
To me, it means keeping it 100% with yourself at all times. And whatever decision you make, making sure that it resonates with you and with your beliefs, and living an authentic life.
What is your take on the abuse that women are still facing today?
I feel like women, because abuse has everything to do with anything. It's not specific to women who are working or women who are not. I feel like it has to do with men who are insecure about themselves, and they don't feel powerful enough or independent enough, and it has all to do with status and power and insecurity in them.
How has your friendships changed since being married?
I feel like I see my friends a lot less. And my close friends know that. I think there's so much more responsibilities and so much more time that's filled once you're married, when there's two sets of families, there's two sets of everything. We both have our own, we also both, like I said before, one time for ourselves as well, and we have to make time together, and there's admin, and there's groceries, and there's car problems, and there's everything else that comes up in between, and there's life. And I feel like my friendships need to have that understanding, and I feel like I just call it adult friendships, where you know that everyone has things to do, and you're always thinking of that person. And when you can come together as friends and feel like no time has passed, and not need to constantly text or phone or check up on each other, and know that bond will always be there, and never feel guilty for it, and always feeling that strong friendship that you felt at the beginning, but the friendship has a lot more maturity than it did before.
Because it evolves. And I think that when you have the kind of friends that when you do see them, like you say, there's no time has passed. You love each other deeply. You care about each other deeply. And
if you need them and you wanted to call, you know they'll always pick up.
Yes, and they know you'll always pick up, And so I think that's important, is knowing that when it's urgent, when something urgent comes up, you will be there. It's your friend. And also that I also like the fact that I have the kind of husband that does not control the kind of friends I have. That he's just like, okay, you don't really care. Be with whoever you want to be friends with, that's fine. I can have guy friends, girl friends, it doesn't matter. He's perfectly happy because he's very secure in himself and very secure in our relationship. It doesn't matter to him. And I love that. I love the fact that not just do I have friends that is accepting of the relationship I have with the person that I love, but that the person I love is completely supportive of whoever I choose to have as friends. And that's the kind of life that I like having, and that's the kind of people I like being around. I don't like to be around people that I have to prove myself to. I don't have that kind of time, to prove that I care for you, then I must go out with you, and I must do this with you and that with you. So I think friendship does evolve when you get married, and I think that some friends leave you because they can't handle that evolving. And I think that that's also okay. I think, it's not for everybody. Some people need someone that's going to be there all the time. And if you can't be that person, you can't be that person. And you've got to be okay with that. Doesn't make that person a bad person. It just means that your friendship is now evolved to a different kind of friendship. And I can't wait to get both of you in the room to talk a little bit about marriage, because that will be the next one. The next one is marriage and young marriages today and the challenges. And I'm sure he's going to have a lot to say about that. So I'm looking forward to that. Is there any last words or advice that you would give to younger women, to young women that is, going to get married or have just got married? what is the one piece of advice you think, after being married now for a year, you think that, you know, other women or other couples even, you know, should be very aware of and be very patient with, maybe?
I think patience in general,
Mm-hmm.
compromise in general, but I think for women and men, I guess, watching, a big thing for me is prioritizing yourself too.
Mm-hmm.
I think for both me and Ziad, it's prioritize what makes you happy too. What do you need to make this marriage work
Mm-hmm.
as well? And for example, for us, it was we both need time to ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
and that's okay.
Yeah.
And I think we so often wanna compromise for the other person or sacrifice for the other person, but make sure that it's not to your own detriment and you're not losing a part of something that you love about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And you're always prioritizing what makes you happy as well.
Yeah, so I look forward to seeing you and Zia together. It's going to be an interesting combination to see how much you agree or disagree on what you're saying. That's going to be a fun one to have. But thank you so much for being here. Thank you everybody for watching, and remember, keeping it real on Thursday night at 8 p.m. And that's Tashreeqa, Siam, and a good night. Keep it real, everybody.